responsibility for the increased threat posed by Pyongyang from the test. And as the principal economic enablers of North Korea's nuclear weapons and ballistic missile development program, China and Russia bear unique and special responsibility for this growing threat to regional and global stability, Tillerson said in a statement. And he said that the launch was a blatant violation of multiple United Nations Security Council resolutions that reflect the will of the international community. Very well said. And Tillerson, I'd much rather at this time, isn't it interesting, during key things that have happened in the United States, we have key people that seem to be in the right position. Rex Tillerson certainly speaking the right language. And when he says something, I feel like he means it, unlike John Scary. But his exact words, he said that the launch was a blatant violation of multiple United Nations Security Council resolutions that reflect the will of the international community. China and the North's last remaining major ally, while Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned the international community is not don't lose its cool over the nuclear armed regime. Reckless and dangerous action and rejected Pyongyang's claim that such tests help ensure its security. By threatening the world, these weapons and tests further isolate North Korea, weaken its economy, and deprive its people, the president said in a statement. Yeah, China's not going to be there for us. Their major concern when this thing started ratcheting up months ago was the immigration issue at their borders. The influx of immigrants, yes, from North Korea, did not want to deal with it, don't want to deal with it whatsoever. That doesn't need to be their problem. That's what they're concerned about. Well, they're going to be concerned about it because they're going to have an issue, I believe, sooner rather than later. I don't like to see carnage, but these people are the worst of the worst. You thought Saddam Hussein was bad? If you know anything about North Korea, their history, and how they handle people they don't like, people that speak out against them, their enemies, perceived enemies, what have you, besides it not being enough if it wasn't for killing his uncle, killing his brother. I mean, if that wasn't enough. He's ruthless. Yeah, let the dogs eat him. Isn't that cute? But they beat dead corpse. Yes, not just one, but two, plural, corpses. And these people, man, are in the worst conditions imaginable on the planet. And there's tens of thousands of these prisoners that get beaten alive to death and even after death. And these are the kinds of things that go on in that country. This just got to stop. I mean, they've got to be shut down. And believe me, I really feel that if we are able to resolve it one way or another, this issue on the peninsula, this will give America a position that it hasn't had in quite a while. The perception about America's capability has been questioned by China. It's been questioned by Russia, by Iran. And I believe this will give a new respect for American might and American military. I just don't think that there's going to be any other way around correcting this issue. We have allies, but they're not going to ally with us to help us. We're just going to send notice and warning, and it's going to be, we're going to have the Brits with us, obviously, Australia. I mean, we're going to have the French. The French are ready. Japan, they're very thankful. The people in the immediate proximity are very afraid, taking Un at his word. And if America doesn't stop this, there's going to be something far worse. Could you imagine having a nuke strike Los Angeles? We don't want anything even close or remotely close. and we had something whiz by our International Space Station. I know that's a coalition, but, we got American astronauts up there. And if you can get it up there, you can get it over here. It's just trajectory, change of course. And what goes up can come back down to anywhere you want to go in an ICBM. And you can put a payload of anything in one of those puppies that you want. Maybe you want to put some toxic gas in there. Maybe you want to EMP over North America, that a lot of people have said that could happen. They could do that. Iran's been wanting to do that in the worst way. Other rogue countries would love to do it too. ISIS has been trying to get themselves something similar to be able to kick that off. Oh, yeah, they've been using technology, There's a lot of things. There's a lot of folks out there quite evil, and I believe this evil will meet its match with United States military prowess. I am right in the backyard of Central Command, and if there's anything that goes down, Central Command will be lit up like a Christmas tree. They are always engaged, but that's where everything will be facilitated from MacDill Air Force Base, and they're ready. Our military is ready like never before. And I'm very proud of the men and women who serve in our military and can meet these challenges that are ahead. But we have some very incredible people now in charge that can execute these missions flawlessly and make sure that as minimal loss of life as possible be conducted. But maybe this is a pipe dream about me wanting to get cargo planes into position there in South Korea to load up the population. Maybe that's just something in the movies that you see. But I think it's doable. I think it's a great idea. Now, if anybody has any terrific ideas in the meantime to step down Kim and his aspirations to nuke us, and can stop this, and has any other greater ideas, well, you can obviously overnight something to the White House or to the Pentagon, and they'll read it, overnight it, return a receipt, they'll get it. Maybe you got some brilliant idea that might be able to avert some kind of war. I've been at war before, and it was a bloodbath. And they hate us for it ever since. They don't like the deal with South Korea. They don't like the armistice. They don't like anything. And they propagate early on that we were the ones that were provocative from that war. And we were the ones that caused the war at the beginning, yada, yada, because this is propaganda from them. Forget about them wanting to invade. Forget them doing the tyrannical things that they did. They're not going to claim any responsibility. We were the ones, and we're still the ones. We haven't changed our behavior. But this is the stuff their citizens believe. Well, not all of them. There's been plenty of people that have lucky enough to be able to escape and tell their stories. And you can research many that have come out of that regime and have told nightmare stories. Because if you don't believe me, there's many books out in libraries about how they treat their people and their histories. It's quite interesting. But it's not something that I would ever want to go visit. I would want to be the hell away from that place as soon as possible. But it's our job here at For the People to tell you the straight skinny on what's going on, and from all our sources, all our information, and all the folks that we know. Folks, we're on the highest alert right now. Anything could kick off at just about any time right now on the peninsula. We're testing the THAAD missile systems, the defense systems there in the south, because now the South President is embracing the technology because he knows this is really getting bad, and because of the repeated ballistic missiles. Okay, this is the second ballistic missile. They've done other missiles, but these are ballistic missiles, ICBMs. Okay, intercontinental ballistics missiles. These can travel long distance. These can threaten the whole peninsula and then some. And here's what a lot of experts have said, what they're really quite worried about in addition to all of this, is that what if one of these things, ICBMs, goes awry? Something malfunctions. What's that going to do? Where is that going to go? What kind of damage will that cause? A lot of damage. They're concerned about all of these and many, many other things. But the biggest thing is the nuke. This is the language that they're using. And for us to sit passive and allow this to happen to our allies and to jeopardize over, 250, 350, about 250, 300,000 troops in South Korea, that would be unbelievably devastating. And then not to mention the population over there in South Korea. This is reality. I wish to God we weren't having this conversation about this, but folks, rather there than over here, that's for sure. What do you think about my idea? Anybody that's intelligent, knows anything about moving people or the thought of mass evacuation. I mean, obviously, the North would know somehow militarily that these transport planes were coming in and out, or they have some tipped-off information through intelligence that large portions of population are being flown out. Would they begin firing stuff into Seoul and not allow that to happen? Would that be too provocative for the North? I mean, would there be reasons not to do this? That's the only other thing that I could possibly think why people wouldn't do this. But what say you? ForThePeopleShow.com. You can sound off on our Facebook at For the People Show or on Twitter, Talk to Keith Allen. That's our newest addition to the program, by the way, is tweeting us. That's right. You can become a tweeter. It's easy to get a Twitter account, and you say less, but you can say more, I think, by less characters. So Talk to Keith Allen. And that's our hashtag at Talk to Keith Allen. Allen is A-L-A-N. So Talk to Keith, K-E-I-T-H, Allen, A-L-A-N. Talk to Keith Allen. Hashtag Talk to Keith Allen. Okay, I'm going to have to get this going. We're going to have to do some kind of promo to kind of get this in your head, but follow us so you know what's going on. And a nice addition, too, to all the places that we already are and For the People. We're on YouTube. You can find us on Spreaker. You can find us on Facebook and on Twitter. And all those sources that I just mentioned, you can find a podcast version of the program as well. Right? We tweet out the show. We Facebook the show. We YouTube the show. And we also webpage the show. And we broadcast the show. So For the People is available everywhere. We're also on Roku, by the way, on Liberty News Network. A lot of people are looking for a lot of different ways. Roku is sold in Walmart, by the way. It's a little box that allows you to watch cable channels, but Liberty News Network is on the little Roku box, too. So you can find For the People there. So if you have Roku, you can find Liberty News Network. Then you can listen to us live on Roku. So we're real proud to be available there. But we're available at a lot of different places. There's not a single place. And on this radio station, if you're so fortunate to be able to hear us on radio, which we're really happy that so many stations have been carrying us, picking up some new stations across the country and building. And it is because of you that help us out and have partnered with us since signing on over 2 years ago to resurrect For the People. Little word on Chuck Harder and our initiative with the iPad program. We're trying to get Chuck fitted with an iPad Pro. The last time that I was there about 2 weeks ago, I saw Chuck staring at the ceiling. And, what else are you going to do when you're bedridden? You're on your back. You can sit up. He's got a little teeny television, which you can barely see. But he keeps up with news that way. But imagine putting something in his hand. And I thought an iPad would be the perfect gift. Now, I have told you this before. I don't get a salary for doing this radio show. Believe it or not, it's crazy, I know. Thank God I have another business. But we don't make a dime for doing the show. So if I could write out a check for, $700-800 for him, I would just buy the iPad myself and I'd be quiet, but I can't. This is a listener-supported show. So if you can give $20, $30 or something like that, that would be great. $5, that would be terrific. And if you can give a couple $100 to expedite this campaign, that would be great. But the sooner that we raise the money, then we'll dedicate more airtime to bigger stories, but I'd really like to get this sewn up quick. So Minimal, I've said this, try to make this easy for you if you're on a shoestring